Dual set, heart to heart, Noonas podcast sumida. Well, hey, you guys, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Noonas podcast. I'm your host, Jenni. And usually, Jenni would have been the one leading this starter, but unfortunately, she's been malfunctioning as of late. And right now, she's just in her corner, and I'm just trying to like my best to revive her. So um, yeah, what is going on, Jenni? You're kind of like leaving me out in the dark here.
We could Hakuna Matata. I'm sorry. Oh, hi. Hi everybody. Hi, it's Jenni. Sorry. ATs has dragged me off in their pirate ship yet again with their Kingdom performance on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So,
and she's been dragging me to the hellhole quite a lot recently. Not quite sure why. I don't know why she's been doing it. Like it's not like they're doing anything new right now.
It's not like they're having a comeback next week or anything like that, is it? Nothing like that.
Yeah, no, like appearances on like a big TV show. Nah, nothing like something like that.
No, nothing like that. Yeah. It's not like they just hit 100 million views on their music video preview video that just literally dropped today as the day we're recording.
If it were a million views, it would have been all with one person, and that would be Jenni Matisek. Hey, how you doing, Jenni?
I told you it wasn't just me. It was all of ATinnie. I didn't have a million views. I maybe had about 10, maybe a dozen.
Yeah, like 1% of like
maybe 20.
Putting them in a million views.
1 billion views. I'm just referencing XO.
They haven't reached 1 billion views in their video. That my sister and I were laughing. Like they're really confident making their title 1 billion views, and they haven't reached that number yet.
They still haven't reached 1 billion views. BTS is in one video. That's a high standard.
Two videos,
yes. Anyway, no.
Back to your little pirate, ship.
Back to my pirate fantasy. No. I'm actually gonna get into Kingdom, the performances from the Kingdom mini global live stream, which because basically
exclusive live performance.
Basically, because now you can't basically find the videos anywhere on YouTube or on the internet because Mnet basically has scrubbed the whole entire internet from these performances. So if you're lucky enough to get up to watch these performances, that's all you got, because they are doing a really good job of keeping these under wraps. We also have
the only thing I caught was some snippets of Icon's performance, and AT's is like pirate entrance with their Black Pearl ship. And then apparently after that it got taken down. So I'm lucky to see those 2 out of 7 groups.
Yeah, and also all of them are mostly in potato quality. So because people cannot apparently rep stuff very well on the internet. We also do have 4 album reviews we have to get to this week. Well, 2 album reviews, 1 single release, and 1 mixtape release we have to get to, as well as some breaking-ish news we have to get to that's going to get a little touchy towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
Regarding some
a trigger warning or something.
We might have to put another trigger warning up this week.
All right. I try to work on my Photoshops and.
Yeah, there's been some interesting scandals kind of breaking out in Korea as of late regarding bullying, and we're going to get into that later in the episode. But we're at least going to get into the fun stuff first before we get into the really, really serious stuff. So let me get into my review of Kingdom. And like I said, I feel so bad for everybody on Facebook who watches our shows, because I think we do such a great job showing pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have no screen grabs because literally Mnet has put out a huge warning before the live stream saying no screenshots, no rips, no nothing of these performances, because we will take legal action, blah 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 blah. And like I said, they've literally scrubbed YouTube of any rips from the live stream.
Apparently there's some been articles of people using their big brains to share what they've experienced watching Kingdom by the art of stick figures. Is that true?
Yeah, there's some really creative fandoms out there who've used stick figures to create a little bit of the formations of some of the groups.
It's like I see like some like pictures of like I don't know which group, but they're like doing like this kind of like little number or just like doing like this really thick like figure looking thing. It's all the rest of it all up to your imagination how like they've done the choreography.
Yeah, it's kind of like those like memes without context kind of issues. like you use like I know like my boyfriend likes to do. We were watching WandaVision, so a lot of those kinds of situations. But yeah, it's really hard to find videos now. Like it's literally 48 hours after Kingdom aired, and I couldn't find a single video to rewatch any this morning just to kind of get a refresher. So like, yeah. And Kingdom itself doesn't air for another 4 weeks because the first episode's not airing until April 1st.
April 1st for everyone. They're going to clown everyone. And then they like say, yeah, all this is not real.
I hope to God not, because God damn it. Anyway.
It's like clown everyone. No, there's no like Kingdom, like there's no Kingdom show. We're just doing.
This is a big elaborate joke.
Like, yeah, big elaborate joke.
No, also I appreciate the fact too, apparently, because there's so much buzz about this show. So they're supposed to be voting on an app called Who's Fan for an hour after this was supposed to air. Well, apparently the app is janky to begin with. It was so broken. They actually had to extend the vote out until Saturday midnight or Saturday 11:59 Korean Standard Time for the votes to get in, and you actually have to vote for 3 groups in order for your vote to count. So yes, I did vote for my 3 groups. I'm sure you know 2 of them, Jenni. I'm sure you know 2 of them.
Okay. 80s and 80s.
Oh, shut up! I can't. Shut up! You can't vote for 2 groups. You literally have to vote for 3 separate groups. Like it makes you vote for 3 separate groups.
You can find a way.
Shut up. Anyway, so let me get into this. Let me get into these little performances. These were literally like kind of like boom, 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 quick 100-second performances. They were really, really quick. Like literally, like it was performance, title card, performance, title card, performance, title card in like 15 minutes. Like it was super quick.
So that would count to like how many minutes or hours?
I mean, because it was 6 groups performing, because it's only 6 groups competing in Kingdom, and so it's only 100 seconds long. So it's basically like a 2-minute. It's a little less than 2 minutes. It's a minute 40 about. A minute 42 minutes about for the performance. Because they basically had, they basically did a lot of the ending, the quote unquote ending shots for everybody. So
the ending fairies of the ending fairies of each member.
Choose your ending fairy, basically. Yeah. So basically, and it seriously kicked off like the first group they had perform as ATs, which seriously caught me off guard because I was like, oh shit.
Oh no! You could tell. I could tell by the way they entered.
It's like, oh fuck, we're starting. And so. Yeah, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to hit all the groups, and I'm going to kind of go through the way I think their strengths and weaknesses are for the performances, and then I think just kind of my go-to ranking for what I think I saw. So, yeah, first group up was ATs. They performed Wave. They remixed it into this like epic like Pirates of the Caribbean-esque like overture version of the song, which it's their like one of their most like happiest like joyous songs in their discography, and it's so thank you, and it's so like kind of like this darker tinge to it. I'm like, how did we make this into like a holidays version of this song? Which if you know SHINee, if you know the ATEEZ universe, you know what I'm talking about.
They have they have the audio version of their songs, right? I could have sworn I saw like some
I don't know if anyone's got rips of the tracks from all the because most of these tracks were all remixed for obviously the performances. They tend to remix the songs for the show.
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw like the official audio on their page. So I'll check again.
You can find it. Look for it. It was amazing. Like I said, strength for ATEEZ is always their performance. They always tell an amazing story when they perform. That is always one of their strengths. Same here. Like just even from the beginning when in that first part with Hongjun just like looking up, chills. Like they always tell a story when they're on stage. That's just how they do it. And just, breaking off into the two separate groups, and then just, the formation at the end with San running, in that final formation with the torch. It was
I
amazing.
know. It's like when San just grabbing the torch and just flailing around, and then coming on top of his members. It's like, oh my god, whoa
Climbing
there.
on top of Dong Ho, like belting out this highest note. Like I can't even. Like I said, I think the weakness is like, I'm afraid they're gonna maybe rely a little bit on their storytelling a little too much, but again, that's the biggest strength of theirs, so I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll
I could always tell.
see.
I could always tell with ATs, just when the first time I've seen them, like when their practice dance performances, like it's the first time I've seen them before liking K-pop. Yeah, they're really good at emoting their faces whenever they dance. Like they can see the emotion as they're telling a story, or telling how they feel in a dance. It's just they really are the strongest whenever they perform. So yeah, massive props to ATs.
They don't do the blank face. Like a lot of groups do have a blank face, because that's what a lot of groups have been taught to do. They don't do that. They emote.
No.
All of them emote, especially San, is super emotive. And that's, I think, what everyone draws, is why everyone's drawn to San, because he's such an emotive dancer. Even though he's not technically the best dancer, he's super emotive, and he just throws everything into it. So
yeah. I really hope the next the future of K-pop boy groups, they maybe take some influence with ATs and maybe incorporate more emotion into their dance. So stop with just the robotic emotionless face whenever you're performing, just do something improv of yourself. I think it requires more strength and more more what should I call this, you get more something out of if you make some faces. So be okay, of course you can take it seriously, but whatever you're feeling, put it out there, express yourselves more.
Yeah. And then you get, like I said, you can tell the story, and it's grown more and more with their performances, and you see it anytime with the ATs. And I'll talk about this more next week when talk about their comeback. Believe me, I will. Anyway, let me move on to the next group. So the next group that performed was B2B. Well, I should say B2B for you, because it's their subunit technically, competing. And they performed their song Beautiful Pain, which is an choir version. And they came out and did something very interesting. They did not actually perform with choreography. They literally came out and just sang. And I will say, vocals, their vocals are insane. They have strong vocals. Pennyel's voice is a little weak, because he came out trying to do his rap and it was a little weak. But their vocals are super, super strong. However, I know a lot of the fans for B2B were a little disappointed that they didn't come out and try to do a dance, because they can dance. Their earlier stuff, they did focus on dancing, and now they've been focusing a lot more stuff on ballads and stuff in their later career. And it's obviously this is more of a competition performance wise, and you're going against really heavy performance groups like ATs, Stray Kids, boys. So I don't know how it's going to stand up.
Considering though, I don't know how when they notified that they were going to be in Kingdom, so I don't know how much time that they have to think about performance, right? So maybe they could practice more until the 1st of April, and see if they can get it back. Yeah.
Well, and I'll get back to that, because there were two other groups obviously that were announced as well around the same time they were announced. So I'll get back to those groups too. So but yeah, their vocals super strong, and it's been obviously a big highlight is B2B. Their vocals are very strong, but again, I don't have really dancing, so I don't know what else really to say about their performance. But yes, they're strong vocals. Performance wise, I can't see much else. And then we go into I think it was SF9 next with Good Guy. I will say this. Their vocals are very strong too in this group. However, their performance was just very meh. I can't remember much from it. It was just kind of a normal performance, and nothing stood out to me in that performance. I mean, Good Guy's is a really good song. Like, it is one of their best songs in their discography, but it nothing like was flashy or like stood out or like, made it, unique. Like, for everybody else, they had something that stood out. Even B2B, like I said, them just standing there and singing really well stood out. For SF9, it was just another performance, and it was just kind of fell by the wayside for me, and I can't say much else besides that. So that's that. And next after that was Stray Kids, and
Okay, all right.
holy shit. That was something. They came out and performed Miro, and they remixed Miro.
No.
Because they did this, and it was very feral. And I legitimately mean feral, because they came out like in like clothes that like look rip up, and they had like scratches and stuff like as their makeup, and they were literally dancing with knives in their mouth and like in their hands and stuff. Like, it was really super feral, and like the choreography is really, really aggressive, like it usually is.
Yeah, like that's what Stray Kids are. Like they're really grimy with like their with their music as well as like their dance performances. Like they're really on like the biggest like boy group that we have right now. And I can't say I'm like really I'm not like entirely surprised, but that's like one of the things I felt bad because I missed that part. I only saw like 80s and an icon, but oh my god, I can't believe I missed that.
Yeah, I would say their performance rivaled 80s and Storm's storytelling, because of like it felt like there's almost like kind of like werewolf-ish kind of as thing, because like there's a lot of howling and stuff, because Miro has a lot of that animal sounds and stuff in the music. So
yeah, a lot of it.
It had a lot of this interesting stuff. Also, Chan's fucking backflip. Holy shit.
They really did go all out with that
in the middle of the stage. Yeah, it was something like that. It was just, yeah, again, they're one of those another group who can kind of do the storytelling. I don't know if they can do it as well as ATs, but they kind of rival that a little bit. It will be very interesting to see, because I think both ATs and Stray Kids are kind of similar in that whole storytelling kind of esque performance. I'm going to give, again, the advantage to ATs, I guess, in this case, because just they're a little more emotive. Because also light was really, really dark for Stray Kids, so everybody was in shadow. At least I could see ATs a little bit better. And then we had the boys perform, and they performed The Stealer, which I like The Stealer a lot. They did with quote the epic version of their song. Again, showing off very strong choreography. They're very strong performers as well. There's a reason why they won Road to Kingdom. And they beat On and Off to win Road to Kingdom, who we'll talk about On and Off later in the show.
Yeah.
Because On and Off is also a really good performance team as well. They have such strong stage charisma as well too. However, they also repeated a lot of the same kind of stunts I've seen on Road to Kingdom. Like they did a similar like falls and like stunts and like breakdowns that we've seen before. So it's like, okay, we've seen this before. Is there anything new we can do? At least like with Stray Kids and with ATs, like as much choreography as I've seen with them before and other performances I've seen with them, at least those ones with Wave and with Miro, I saw new things. With The Stealer, like I said, I saw similar pieces just added into it. And it's like, okay, you got to give me something else. You got to give me something more. You just can't keep relying on these same quote unquote shocking choreography pieces, like the epic fall that I can't remember who does it, but like they do this one where one of them goes up and like falls from really high up, falls backwards. Because we've seen that a couple times already in both Road to Kingdom and in the Mamba performance, and now this. So you gotta bring something new to the stage, because now you're with the big boys, and you really got to bring it. So, and then the final performance was Icon, which you said you saw Icon's performance. And they came out with Rhythm Ta. And I will say this, Icon came to fucking compete. I really think they came to compete. Like, they came out with like some like swagger and like stage presence that is theirs. That is Icon's, that I think I had been missing, I think, since BI left. So I don't know if they've maybe finally kind of found their identity now, since as a 6-member group, because I know with BI leaving, that was a big part of the group leaving. So I will say the performance did start out a little weak, but then got really strong towards the end, unlike Stray Kids and ATEEZ, where it was strong throughout. iKON is somebody we're gonna have to watch out for because they I think they could really compete really, really well. And there's a reason why I think they got invited to the show to compete. Iconics, I know why Iconics follow iKON. They're really good. They have that swagger. So
yeah,
it would be very interesting to see how their hip hop competes against the epic kind of performance-esque choreography of ATEEZ and the boys and stuff.
And Stray Kids too, who's another rap heavy group.
Exactly, and Stray Kids too, who are a little bit more rap heavy, like the boy, like iKON is too, because you have 3 Racha in Stray Kids who definitely can rap. Knowing that Changmin is apparently still really, really bitter about Show Me the Money. I found out this week, so which I understand why. So those are my thoughts on the Kingdom. Honestly, if I wanted to rank, I'd say 6th place. I'm giving it to SF9, just because, like I said, very forgettable. 5th, I'm giving to BTOB, just like I said, because of vocals. Vocals are awesome and amazing, but it's a performance. It's there's so much more happening because on stage, and you have to use it all. And vocals just can't be enough. It's got to be everything. 4th place, I'm going to give to the boys. Like I said, still really good. Just I've seen it before. Hopefully we're going to get different stuff from them this time when they're competing. 3rd place, I'm going to give to, this is going to get hard because it's literally ATEEZ, Stray Kids, iKON, super, super close. They're really close to one another. Oh, I don't know.
Take your time.
I don't want to take my time because we have a lot to talk about. I'm probably gonna go iKON 3rd, Stray Kids 2nd, ATEEZ 1st. And like I said, they're really, really close to one another. It's just on just little things. Like I said, I think ATEEZ's storytelling was super, super well, and just everything with that performance was just really, really good on a technical standpoint. So ATEEZ is, like I said, I think ATEEZ is legit, guys. I really do. I know I talk about ATEEZ all the time on the show, and I'm going to be harping on them all next week because their comeback is next week.
She is a certified ATEEZ preacher. If you're looking for any the dedicated ATEEZ, you go to Jenni, and she's gonna share you all of her stories and all of her theories of what's to come within the universe. Or
it doesn't help that I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's happening in the universe. Still figuring that out. But it's gonna be a tough competition. I'm really looking forward to seeing what all happens come April 1st when it begins. It's going to be insane. We're going to get some crazy stages, I think, just based upon this sampler.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be insane. So, that's my Kingdom wrap up. A little longer than I was hoping, but I'll stop talking about ATEEZ for this week, hopefully.
Promise?
Kinda? Promise?
All right, that's good enough.
All right. I'll try my hardest. So we have so many album reviews we got to get into. So let's go ahead and let's get into our first album review of the week, because this is a week of new music.
And it's not stopping because there's more going to be coming out tomorrow as we are recording this. With
on Thursday. Yeah, we're recording this on Thursday. And we have
Juan.
Ivana was coming out tomorrow. Yeah, no, and the boys had their Japanese single come out yesterday as well.
Yeah, I watched it. It's called Breaking Dawn. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's all I could think about because I watched it a while ago. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I was not gonna lie, I was a little confused with Breaking Dawn because that chorus came in. I was like, this is a little jarring. It's a little jarring from the verses to the chorus. It was just.
Yeah, they're I know a lot of K-pop groups are taking risks, jumping from a transition to really hard core rap heavy, and then to the melodic section. Yeah, they've been like doing all that, but hopefully they will find like a really great balance to where it sounds really smooth.
Yeah, because it wasn't smooth at all. It was a little jarring. Because I really liked the verses, but the chorus just was so abrupt. It was just like,
It does.
yeah. I mean, the visuals are great.
Yeah, of course. Like a lot of fourth gen visuals are super like just stunning. That's all I could say. Stunning.
Yeah, boys have some great visual, stunning stuff, but yeah, the Japanese was a little the music was just a little off. So yeah, quick little and a little thing on the boys, but yeah, let's get started. Let's go into our biggest drop of the week. Let's get into SHINee, since we talked about SHINee so much last week. Let's get into their yes, SHINee's back. As a clue in Zuki and Sherlock. No, let's get into their 7th complete album, SHINee's Don't Call Me. Their 7th album, their first album since 2018, since everybody but Taemin has been through the army. And yeah, I mean, we got their first album since The Story of Light. And
yeah, it's been how many years then?
Almost 3? Well, 3
Oh my God.
About 2.5 years, I guess. 2.5, because I think End of Story Light was about closer to the end of 2018. So it's been about 2.5 years since we got an album SHINee. So yeah, it's been a while. And I mean, we got the single Don't Call Me, which, I mean, they were saying hip hop and they kept saying hip hop. They were not kidding with hip hop.
Oh yeah, I was like, okay, like we'll see about that when they come in with like the really like hard hitting beats. Like, okay, all right, now I believe you.
Okay, I believe you said hip hop. Jeez, okay.
I told you. I can tell you. Yeah, no, but the thing is, this is my first time experience with SHINee, and so this is like a little, like momentous for me, just like, to see how like they've evolved so far. And yeah, I'm just really like blown with like their comeback, especially with like their video. We can talk more about if you can like transition us to like the
let's go ahead. Let's talk about the video Don't Call Me, and just the whole the track itself. I mean, like I said, super hip hop heavy, still feels very R&B as, like, it still has that very SHINee R&B.
Yeah, their signature SHINee sound.
Exactly. It definitely sounds like that 80s, 90s R&B that we know and love with SHINee. Definitely, I mean, there's a lot of that interludes, like with keys, like spoken parts, like, are very interesting too, and I really like that, like keys, like spoken English throughout.
Yeah, I think it really helped out with creating like a more hip hop core of music, because you have like the really like strong the bass that they produce at the back, and as well as like with sampled voiceovers at the very beginning, right? Sound like with like the spoken sampled clips, as well as with he like introducing with like his English introduction. And I feel like with this with their title track Don't Call Me, I've seen a comment saying this, it's like Chinese approach to the 4th gen sound. It's just like I think they're like really evolving with like the modern sounds with K-pop, and but they're still retaining like their what we love about SHINee the most is with their hip hop, like their melodic and vocal powerhouse. So it's such a really good welcome, I guess, with how they created their new music for the album, and for like this generation.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has like, it feels like a little bit of like that production that we have with the 4th generation, because we've obviously seen that a lot. There's a lot of production on the 4th generation side, a lot of auto tune, a lot of mixing and stuff with it. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely is a lot of that still undertone with the R&B and the soulfulness that we've come to know, like with Taemin's voice, even with Onu's voice. Coming through when they come through with their vocals, and even like with Minho's rap. Like when Minho comes through with his rap in the 2nd verse, I'm like, baby, who hurt you? like it comes through, and I'm like, who hurt you? Like, who I would have to go kill?
Yeah, but no, I know like many members of SHINee have like their own distinct voices,
Mhm,
and yeah, like Minho's like like rap style hasn't changed too, because I can
mhm,
hear like this like he's more of like a bit of a high pitch like that kind of rap. Like if you can compare his with Chanyeol from EXO,
mhm.
like he's a more deep, like more like fitting of like a rap, like more of a rapping, while Minho's style feels more like an old school hip hop vibe.
Yeah.
Because he has like a little bit like intuition in his voice, like sick of all your trash. It's just yeah, it's just like the classic Minho feel,
Yeah, it's a little bit more like sing-songy rappy, not more of like spoken word rap, I guess, if you want to
Yeah,
compare
yeah.
it, like in terms of rap styles. And that, yeah, that is more of how Minho does his rapping. And yeah, I mean, I do like that because it is a little bit of a different flavor because most, the
It,
rappers nowadays, I feel like are more of a
more.
spoken word
Yeah. Yeah, and
style.
it's classic Minho. Like you could tell
Mhm.
like how he comes in.
Yeah, and it's like he hasn't sacrificed his style for for the song, which I really appreciate.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's yeah, it just feels it just the album itself in total. I guess you want to talk about the album in total. Like it feels very shiny, like
Very shiny. Though
throughout.
if I could like provide a bit of a feedback, since they've been hyping up so much about like, oh, we're gonna do like more of a hip hop like heavy concept. I wish they could like provide some of those tracks more like more the hip hop side,
Hmm.
aside from just like their like their single "Don't Call Me."
Hmm.
So but I like the rest of the rest of the songs, yes, like very staple shiny music, and it's my first time like listening to them like full album. Yeah, really, really gets me in the mood, and like I really enjoy what they provide or what they presented.
Yeah,
No hip like less hip hop or not, it's just like, yeah, I love like the songs that they have here.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I mean, if they wanted to go, I mean, it's up to them. If they just want more hip hop. I guess the most hip hop in one outside of "Don't Call Me" is "Code." If you wanted
Oh,
to, if you
that is
wanted
my
to,
favorite one.
yeah, if you wanted to like go more hip hop, that's probably the most hip hop track outside of "Don't Call Me" is "Code," which
Yeah.
I really did enjoy too. I really liked Key's the first part of that with Key coming
Yeah,
in.
first. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really really good.
Yeah, Keys yeah, like introduction with his rap.
Hmm.
That's what I thought too. I think it's like Code is like a mixture of a bit of hip hop, and as well as with, let me just see what I yeah, Code is like a mixture of hip hop and a bit of a like 80s retro wave too.
Hmm.
Because I really like the synth like electronics that they used throughout the song. It just makes it like feel like really futuristic, but in the 80s settings.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, like they tie in that whole like 80s 90s sound really well, and I think yeah they brought it into the 21st century into 2021 really really well. Like
Oh yeah.
because obviously I think for a lot of people like I think there's obviously K-pop has really grown, and I think a lot of people are still like, okay, wait, who's shiny? Especially in the last couple of years, because I feel like K-pop has really grown, and some people might not know, okay, who's shiny, and like again, shiny are being the kings that they are in K-pop. Like I think
Hmm.
this is a good introduction into
Yeah,
getting
gateway.
good way into getting into them, because it still feels a lot like them, but it's still approachable for people who do listen to a lot of say fourth gen groups.
Yeah, and with the thing with SHINee is like they have come from like the a bit of the older generation from the second late second gen,
Hmm.
but they're like really inspired by a lot of like classic pop R&B like music, like from like ranging from Michael Jackson into Prince, as well as like R&B like with Stevie Wonder, and as well as even like more of like a bit of like the 2000s pop with Lady Gaga, and all of those like those really great artists that we have in America. Like they really incorporated those classic elements into theirs, with more K-pop feel into it. So I think people would be able to appreciate like the sound, like their music, and just to get like make them remind them of like the things that they loved back in the past, because
Hmm.
yeah, some like so, and their whole selection of the album is like a mixture of like a bit of like a retro funk and like a neo disco, like with songs like Heart Attack and I Really Want You, because it got me like with this Earth, Wind, and Fire vibes. Kiss Kiss is more like the, you know, like the funk with the like Ohio Players, and jumping into like more of the modern R&B with a bit of like a bit of like reggaeton, like we hear from Rihanna, because like with songs like Marry You and Body Rhythm by SHINee. And even like the more of like the DJ club you can hear from like the, you know, from the club. So we got like Attention, which like their music reminds me of like this DJ from Montreal called Catronata. That's something I would like think that he would probably like, produce, you know. And going into like the more at the end, like going slow with like the slow pop ballads, which they honed in like their voices, like because their voices harmonize like really beautifully with each other. Yeah, it really gets to me. Like their voices like really moves you to the core. Yeah, that's pretty much what I felt. Really great, like diverse selections from like whatever like sub genres of pop that we have.
Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to, like I said, they wanted to delve more into hip hop, because since they were hyping so much about this hip hop stuff, they could have. But it is a very diverse selection of pop throughout, like across the landscape. And yeah, it's a really solid album. I will say this right now is probably one of my favorite albums currently to come out of 2021, because there have been some duds. There have been some duds this year, I think, in terms of K-pop. In terms of albums,
writing like my favorite albums too, because I have like some like that I, you know, can't stop listening to, and then I'll just put those out as like my favorite album. I think this is going to be one of them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot on this album that I will come revisit. I mean, Don't Call Me's already been in my rotation quite a bit. I mean, like
I've been
like, I mean, and we were already spoiled with Marry You when they did their ringtone live stream, and even listening to it on the album, like it's so good. Like it's such a really fun, like it's that beautiful like R&B groove to it. It's just such a great song. Like I love it. It's such a really fun song. Like it feels so 70s, like so super sensual, and like
the 70s. It's like this is like flying you through the 70s to the 80s and 90s. Like SHINee are able to like, you know, do that at this current era.
Yeah, it is. It's a really great time capsule. Like I said, if you want to get into like if you were listening to K-pop and you're like fourth generation, you're like, wait, who's SHINee? Like, should I really get into them? Yes, you should really get into SHINee. This is a great album to get into.
SHINee,
to get your feet
like paved the way for like, you know, K-pop and how like K-pop would sound. Like again, go to listen to our previous episode of SHINee and just see how impactful their like their music and like as well as like their like other than like their appearance, their charisma, and their fashion trends, like all of those, you know, it's all because of SHINee.
Yeah.
So
please go listen to our Wikipedia session on SHINee from last week. If you haven't, they really did set the stage for a lot of what we have now in K-pop, and they've come back and they've really returned, and you know, they're like, we are back. And there is a reason why they are back. So it's I'm even seeing their performance today. I watched their performance from M Countdown, their comeback performance, and seeing them back on stage with the four of them, it was just it was fantastic.
It's fantastic, and again, like proved that they're one of the best like live performers, and that they don't need to like use lip syncing because they're really like great with their vocals anyway. So it's amazing how they're able to like multitask with like, you know, like this really exhaustive dancing, because this is apparently one of their hardest choreographies they've done so far, but they're able to like you know, bring in like exude their powerful voices you know, out loud. It's just really impressive, especially when they're like most of them are going into their 30s, and they're still kicking it with their with like these really complex moves. So,
there's a lot of
huge props to them.
Yeah, there's a lot of technical stuff to this choreography. When you watch it on stage, it's really precise. So check out some of their performances on the music shows this weekend. I know I'm going to. It's so good.
And one person is after, even before like the music video came out, one person is just like really practicing the choreography, like the chorus section of the Don't call me, bitch. Can you guess who this person was?
I'm assuming it's you.
Yeah,
And she literally gets up. And she literally gets up. I'm watching her on video right now. And she's dancing.
Don't call me.
Oh my god, she's literally doing the pre-chorus "Don't Call Me" foot move. That's amazing. Oh my, that's amazing, Jenni. That is awesome.
If it all melts down, if the snow melts, I am so gonna like find a way to like find a studio or like someplace to do it outside so I can just like finally like spin around and just do my thing, you know.
Please do. That is amazing. That is actually pretty good. Yeah, that foot move that they do before the "Don't Call Me" is like super
pre-chorus. Oh my god, that is like one of the most badass things I've seen. I've been like trying to like hone it, trying to like keep my balance. It's just, how are they doing this?
A lot of core strength, I'm assuming.
Oh man, yeah, like okay, like they'll call me. To me, it's like the equivalent. This is the Korean equivalent of NSYNC's "Bye Bye Bye." It has like the most like the beats to it, as well as like the lyrics, is like, you know, like pushing your like old love away. You know, bye bye bye.
I could totally see that. So you're not wrong. So yes, go listen to SHINee's "Don't Call Me." Great album. I cannot stress it enough. It's a great album. Let's get on to our next album, because like I said, we have 3 more to go. Let's get into actually a debut. It's a debut. How did I phrase it? It's his first solo digital mini album, because he didn't want to call it a mixtape. I know that.
Yeah. I want a bit more of a mini album, because like there's like a few tracks that he put there.
Yeah.
So
he didn't want to call it a mixtape. So he releases it as a digital mini album out in the world. And this is I Am from the group Monsta X. And this is his first mini album called Duality. And he released it with the title track Goddamn. And this actually came out back on Friday. Again, with Starship wanting to push out these like Friday releases as of late, kind of pushed, you know, this whole American-esque release schedule with them. I'm not sure why, but I don't know why.
Should I say, goddamn, man, that video. When I first saw it, because
God damn it, I like it.
Something like sexy like about to go on with like with the teasers, people like with I Am just feeling himself. But when I saw like the whole music video, and I saw like the rated 19 video, I ran out. I ran out. Like no, I couldn't handle this. No.
You see the rated TV, and then you see the rated 19 sticker. You're like, shut the laptop. I'm done.
No, like okay, like go check out my meme video from like our Noonas Noonas _podcast on Instagram and Twitter, because that's pretty much my reaction to I Am's music video.
Yeah,
I wish I could throw my laptop, but I need my laptop for business matters.
Yeah, it was pretty much like that, because that music video is pretty much like a drug fueled trip of a music video. There's a reason why it's TV 19.
Until we get to the end, until they started like it's a huge trip at like the last chorus. Like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, that's when the drugs really kick in.
Different from like the club setting of the video.
It's like the drugs have really kicked in, and I don't know what the hell is happening.
Yeah, it was like some kind of Doctor Strange style, like what kind of like bad trip this is.
Yeah, we're on a really bad trip. This it's really interesting, because I Am played a lot with this whole idea of duality throughout the whole album, with the lyrics and stuff. That's the whole theme behind the album. I will say this: he has a sound. He has a very distinct sound when he does do stuff away from Monsta X, because obviously he has a very unique style rapping when he's with the group, but when he steps away, it has
more subdued tone.
It's a very more subdued tone. He very much along, I feel like, more along the lines of like Future, Travis Scott-esque.
Yes, exactly.
Even like I felt very like almost like Post Malone-esque kind of vibes too with Goddamn.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I really thought like his whole like mini album is just really inspired by American like hip hop,
Mhm.
especially with the video as well, and, except for the ending. But yeah,
Except for the
a
drugs.
lot of those like it had elements of like you see music videos of like the artists in the club,
Mhm.
right? Like
Right.
all all lit and all that,
Mhm.
as well as like the like what how American hip hop is doing now with the rapping. It's like more of like the mumbly, like more pulled back, raspy vocal range, and I think that's what I am is doing with his solo work.
Mhm.
Very very American hip hop. And you're right with like the Travis Scott, Future, um, and even a bit of Drake with like the music as well.
Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, I can see a little bit of like some Drake influence in his music as well. A little bit of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just because it's very consistent like throughout, and then you get to the fifth track, which I think is the most distinctly different when you get to Flowered. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember because it's in Hangul as well, and I cannot remember what it translates to because my Hangul is horrible.
No, yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's that takes a whole different tone, and I appreciate him actually doing something a little different for his fifth track because I was getting a little bored because like yeah, he has this whole consistent sound, but like I've having listened to different mixtapes from different rappers, it's like most of them like to actually play with like different genres and stuff, especially like I listened to like stuff from like I August D, like his mixtape from last year where he played with
Mm-hmm.
so many different genres and stuff on his mixtape. August D being the alter
Sugar
ego of
from
Suga from BTS. When he releases his solo stuff, he does it under August D. In his mixtape last year, he definitely played the gamut on different. He played a lot of different genres and stuff within rap and stuff,
mm-hmm.
and he really experimented with a lot of different styles on his last mixtape. Even stuff like even RM with his previous mixtape with Mono, like from his first mixtape to his second mixtape, are completely different. But even throughout Mono too is like a little bit, more. It's a little more subdued, but like it's still like there's still different styles throughout Mono. But I can appreciate at least with between like RM and IM, their flow between Korean and English is super super good. Like they're really
Mm.
good about
Oh yeah.
combining that multilingual really really well in their raps. Like
Oh yeah,
their
yeah.
flow
I
is
agree.
super good. Combining that, like there's very few rappers I think who can do it very well, and I think both of them can do it super well considering
Yeah.
neither of them English is their like first language. Like
Yeah, but
that's impressive.
they're like again like with RM and IM, they're really raised by a lot of like American influence
Hmm.
within their music. So I think that really helps with like writing their lyrics, and as well as like combining a lot of English and Korean language together to make it like flow better.
And like I said, I really that's why I really appreciate Flowered for what it is being at the end. It's a little bit
Mhm.
more softer of a track. It's more introspective of a track
Oh
at
yeah,
the end.
yeah.
Um, and so it felt like it was just felt like a nice ending to this mixtape, considering everything we got was very similar. Because again, it's that whole like feature Travis Scott Drake-esque sound that he's very very familiar with. And then at least at this when he does Howlin', or when he does not Howlin', when he does Flowered, it's just a little softer, and it's still not softer style that he raps in, but it's not so aggressive like in the boom
Yeah,
bass and
the
stuff.
instrumental. Yeah, the instruments,
Yeah.
like the background music is really like they don't really rely on like the heavy like like those beats that much. It's just like more of like um less percussions, more of like the instant like the a bit of an orchestral, but like more from like electronic based. I
Hmm.
think I appreciated the two tracks with Howlin' and Flower, because they're one of the most atmospheric tracks that he has, and
Hmm.
really love like the really gloomy the echoey effects that they had in those two songs. And yeah, I feel like with I am how he put out his work, it feels like a bit almost, yeah, almost personal, because I know he's talk about like his his struggles, and how he incorporated his wrist tattoo, like the happy and sad face, which
Hmm.
you can see at the album cover. That's like that tattoo he has on his wrist.
Hmm.
It really expresses how much like he's trying to like to fight between like his inner struggles, like but while keeping a good image, like keeping like a really positive attitude, while promoting with Monsta X or as an idol. So it's just conveying how he personally feels, like makes like the whole work that he projected more intimate and genuine. So I can like really appreciate like how a lot of his music like sounds really dark and sounds really dreary in a way,
Yeah, because I mean, definitely, because I mean, even Howlin', which is, I will say Howlin' is in complete English, which I was not expecting a complete full English track on his first mixtape, or on his first mini album. But yeah, he did a full English track that he raps on, and Howlin' is super reflective of that, like, that inner struggle of him, reflecting on, that he does struggle with that, that image of, putting out into the idol world. But, we, and I think everyone struggles with that too, like that image we put out into the world versus, who we really are. And it's really nice to see him play with that again. And he was playing with this whole idea of duality, hence the name of the album. So I appreciate them playing with these themes. And it really does cohesively bring the album together. So I think it's a solid debut. Like I said, I really wish he'd maybe play a little bit more with genre, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna put like our personal like subjective opinions, because I even know that might be his personal tastes.
Right.
Like I could have heard more like more of the duality in its sounds, like have like a more energetic kind of like beat, and then going to the more introspective, like softer, more like more emotional side at the end, like as well, with Flowered. But that's their opinion.
Right. Yeah, I know. These are subjective opinions, obviously. Like, as I said, a lot of this also sounds too like his 2019 release that he had, which was called what was it called? It was called Horizon, which I really like that track too. Another very trap heavy, very Travis Scott future sounding track. Like I said, he really likes that sound a lot. So I mean, I guess if you're in your comfort zone, stick in your comfort zone. But like I said, having listened to a bunch of different, mixtapes out there from other K-pop idol artists, and like having listened to other other idols who've actually put other music out there, and having seen them explore with different, like, playing a little bit more with pop or playing a little more with rap, rock, different genres. Because I mean, like in Stray Kids stuff, like stuff with Three Racha, or even some like the stuff they've released individually, like Han or Changbin or Bang Chan individually, they've released stuff that's like different that you wouldn't expect them to release. And like, so I've seen them play with different stuff, and it's like, experimentation's cool, I think. But if you like what you like, you like what you like.
Yeah, it's his first first project, so maybe he can like evolve from that and improve more.
Hopefully. So I mean, like I said, it's a solid debut. So if you do like that, like really trap heavy hip hop raps sound, this is totally up your alley. So
oh yeah.
So I think we should move on to our next album, which is more of a single album because it's only two songs.
You know what? Like I thought, I was expecting that this person or this artist was like produced like at least a mini album with several songs, or a full, like studio album. But when I tried hunting down like more songs from her, and as I said, I checked the sample tracks too, and just to confirm, I was like, 2 songs. 2 songs. Oh my gosh, they made me like work hard for nothing, and I was like so prepared, like hearing like more songs, and then I was like, really, just 2 songs? Oh my god, I just felt so deflated. I was like, oh
yeah.
But my opinions, my feelings towards like those 2 songs, we'll talk about more. Like, can you introduce who we're referring to?
Yes, I can refer who we're talking to. So yes, this is a single. It's more of a single release because, like I said, it's only 2 songs. It's literally the single, then one other song. I am, of course, talking about Sunmi and her release Tail, which literally came out on Wednesday, the 23rd. And yeah, so she only came out with Tail, and then she came out with another song on the single, which was called What the Flower. And I feel so bad you actually hunted down, because I was like, I literally saw it was just only like a single release. I was like, oh, so it's like only a song or 2 songs. So
Yeah,
I'm so
just two
sorry you
songs.
hunted down all over the internet to try to find more Sunmi.
Where is it? Where are the rest of the songs?
Where is she? But yeah, no, she came back with this really, I'm gonna really say, really woman empowering, sexy song.
Empowering. It's very like how I describe Lisa and me. She is like the epitome of like classic femme fatale you see in noir movies.
Yes.
Because she has that look, like the really like cold faced look, as well as like the makeup and her hair. Even like her appearance and how she dresses, very like femme fatale, like especially with the music video Tail, just a lot in like leather. And she makes a lot of like like a lot of movie references with the video as well. And yeah, she did it once again. She did it once again with like a lot of like really dark undertones with this song and the video.
Yeah, like this is like, if I will say this is Catwoman movie we wanted.
This okay. This is the Batman Returns. Their version of Batman Returns Catwoman. This is the Halle Berry Catwoman that we should have got.
Thank you.
And this is the Andrew Lloyd Webber's the Cats the musical live action that we needed. Screw the like the 2020 or 2019 like version. This is what we need. And also Kristen Wiig's Cheetah from Wonder Woman 1984 is shaking right now. She trumps all of these other characters. No, she is our Catwoman. She is our femme fatale K-pop.
We're just gonna get all our nerdy references out right now, but yes, this is our Catwoman because
my little rant, my little cat rant.
It's okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna get into nerdy references in our next album review anyway. So hold on. But stay tuned to that. Especially after our conversation we had earlier this week. This is like femme fatale Catwoman. Like she really like super dug into that like awesome like Selena Kyle Catwoman, like heavy woman empowering. Like you get that throughout the whole entire music video with the styling and the storytelling in it, and even the choreography. I found out she used the choreographer, one of the Beyonce's choreographers, to help choreograph this whole entire dance.
Yeah,
with everything.
Which one of my favorite like choreography and how creative that she was able to like make like about like Tail, which we'll get into that, but.
Right.
Yeah, I can say your piece though, Jenni.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's a very sexy sound without being really super erotic. Like, and she does it really, really well. Okay. You know what I mean.
You don't need to make out. You don't need to make out, but you can do a lot of like more actions, either that's kissing or like doing more like sexual activities.
Exactly. Something like that. But it's like it's this. I'm stuttering. Oh my god.
We're all like flustered here.
She makes me flustered. Oh my god. No, Sunmi just does this really good job with like these really female empowered anthems. I think when she reads her music, like I get that from like Gashina, from Heroine, like from Tail, like she just does that super, super well.
Yeah, to me it feels like a sequel or like a follow up to her one of her first solo works, which is 24 Hours.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I recommend you watching 24 Hours by Sunmi. It's such like Baroque pop, like really a little bit of like a jazzy flair, but you can like feel a lot of like sensuality with like her moves and like her music and her singing.
Yeah, it's up in that very like sensual kind of vibe. I mean, it's definitely got that more jazz. I guess because the style of song, it feels very jazzy in a way, a little bit. Because again, it's kind of playing that whole like neo-noir style, so it has a little bit of that like 40s, 50s-esque style to it, especially with like some of the clothing and stuff that she chose for the styling. And yeah, it really embodies that super, super well. I don't know what else to, because and just the choreography itself too is super, like it's really good in invoking that storytelling super well through the lyrics. Because if you read the lyric translations and like the choreography matches super well with what she's trying to portray.
Yeah.
is super. It's the perfect package. It really is.
I think it's one of the many perks of if you're trained under JYP, because I think they train you to do like a lot of more interpretive dancing, and to have your choreography connect, your movements connect with like the what you're singing about. So I think she really like honed that like from her training, or for like whenever she worked under JYP,
I
and
think
she
so.
does evoke a lot of like those like movements coinciding with like her lyrics, because like how she did the tail parts in her dance is she had her backup dancers like form a tail while she like sticks herself out, and like sometimes would wag herself, while like the others would like shake either their legs or their like arms. It's just wow, that is like so creative. It's just, oh my god, I'm so amazed of like how she is able to pull that off.
Even the final move with like her at
Yes.
on the ground with her one leg up in the air. Like, I don't know how that's some amazing body strength to pull that off. As she's attempting to do this right now. I'm literally watching her trying to attempt to do this on camera.
Okay. I'm gonna rip my muscle.
Like seriously, it's amazing like how she can hold that at the end of the music video.
I
And
know
like
Everglow did it with like Ladi Da with like their legs like going up. And but oh my gosh, I like how she's able to do that too. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh, that is like so amazing.
It is like, it's just the men's power behind it, and it's just it's super. It's the choreography itself. Like I said, using one of the choreographers from Beyonce to help do this. I can't remember the name of the choreographer, but she worked with one of the choreographers from Beyonce to do this,
cool.
and it's serious. It's like it's everything. It's just so super gorgeous, super stylized. It's a super strong, like it's like I said, it's a super strong female empowering song, I feel like.
Yeah, and what I admire from Sunmi too, like with her vocal range, she's not like this artist who like relies on like having like a powerful, like really loud vocal exudes a lot of like vocal vocal like evoke that like vocal range.
Belting it
So
out.
loud. She's bursting it out.
If it gets more comparison.
She's more of like this really subdued like she goes with like the low like tone. I think like if you compare a bit of Fiona Apple, or maybe a bit of like Billie Eilish in a way, but it does like adds up more. Her like low like dreary morose voice adds a lot of like sinister and like a bit of like a moody feeling into like a bit of a mysterious tinge into her voice, and the song with Tail, with the guitar that was like really prominent in the background. It really adds to her. She really fits into like those really retro songs from the 80s. Yeah, it really dips into like a bit of like a gothic feel to me. I love how like unique she is compared to a lot of like girl groups or like female artists that we have in K-pop right now. Yeah, she really sticks out to most, and to having like her own style and her own like music video that doesn't blend in with other like groups that we have so far.
Yeah, you can definitely tell like this is a Sunmi product. Like this is her song, this is her style. This is her. Like you can't imitate it, you can't replace it. This is her. And yeah, even with the second song on the single release with What the Flower, even too, like it felt like a really jazzy. It was like a good companion piece, I think, with it, because it felt like something you would find like a jazzy lounge kind of club.
Yeah, I felt like it's like a really polar opposites, because with Tail it relies on more of like the really minor like if you're like a music fan, then you feel like a cool tension, like a very cool tension, like using more of like the E's and the B keys. Whereas in What the Flower, it feels like more of like these really like sunny 70s pop song that they use like more of like the major keys like G, the C, and F's. I don't know if I'm right, but like with my analysis here, but it brings more like the warmth into it. Right. Brings like you're driving in the sunset. more
Yeah.
like.
It was a little bright. It was a little bit brighter, compared to the more of the darkness you got from Tail, because Tail has a bit more of a darker, sinister side. Again, the more neo noir-esque style and sound, and then with the flowers a little bit brighter, sunnier. Like I said, it felt like you were like in like a jazzier lounge club kind of thing. Like I guess you like on a bright, sunny like Saturday night in like the 70s or 80s. I kind of felt like
I love. Yeah, I love the consistent usage of the guitar too. Something that we really need to hear more in K-pop, like more guitar, instruments at the back.
More instrumentation, please. More instrumentation.
Yeah, because I love the Tail one. It feels like really twangy with it's like the guitar, like how they play the guitars it's really airy, and it's something you can hear from like a Quentin Tarantino thriller. It's like when you hear like the twang, it's just oh shoot, it's goes back into my cinema nerd my nerd rage here.
No, you're good. That I mean, like I said, Sunmi is just because we saw some of the teaser stuff from her images last week, and then I remember seeing the Studio Tomb teaser image on Monday because they dropped that, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot her video comes out this week too. And then to see Tail come out on Tuesday was just like, oh my god, like this is seriously like this is the Catwoman I wanted, like hands down. Like I wanted this kind of Catwoman. Like, the Catwoman who was literally tying a man to the train track rails and like filing her nails, waiting for the tree to come kill him. Like
even at the beginning, how like the man, she was like it was like the antagonist of the music video, dropped her off in the high building, and like then when she like died, and then like the cast are coming to revive her, and then she got all like messed up. So it's kind of like with Michelle Pfeiffer's Sunmi the Kyle and Batman Returns. So I really got that. A lot of like those references there.
That was like A plus on the references. Like she nailed the references so well. Like it was so good. It's just great. It was great. I go watch Tail. I know it was trending on YouTube actually for a while, so go watch it. It was it's a great
SHINee and Tail. Like they're on in the trending. I'm so happy for those two. It's like yes.
I know when I see like other K-pop videos start like, under trending for YouTube, I'm like yes. Like it always makes me so happy. Especially when they're trending really high, like that makes me super super happy.
It got like overshadowed by like a group that I love so much, but too bad they're splitting displaying ways with Daft Punk because they're like their video was like #1 on trending. It's like that's like one of the bad news for me and like in the music world, like Daft Punk splitting up. Like
oh yeah, I know. And then you saw that and you're like, oh.
Okay.
Well, hopefully,
I at least have my K-pop side just to like help cheer me up. But Daft Punk is one of like the things I grew up with.
Which I hope
my robot husband knows.
Which is why I hope like the next album release that we had on Wednesday actually kind of helped a little bit because it kind of had a little bit of like that cyberpunk-esque a little bit with it.
There's some like K-pop songs that reminds me a lot about like Daft Punk, but they're like more in the past though. But,
which makes sense. So, I know Daft Punk breaking up broke my heart too. Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Respect to those guys.
Exactly. Well, let's get into our final album review of the week. This is the last album that came out literally Wednesday. Because we actually had a Wednesday release this week. And I'm talking about the group On and Off. Relatively, I think a relatively underrated group.
I thought they were like a new fourth gen group, but then I saw like they came out in 2017, so like they've been there for a couple of years now.
Yeah, they're kind of like one of those groups that bridges like the third, fourth generation. Like I feel like in terms of their sound and stuff. But yeah, I'm talking about the group On and Off. They are stylized ONF. So don't get confused.
Oh yeah, On and Off.
As On and Off. They're a 6-member group, and they just came back with their first full album. This is their first full album in their careers. They previously had about 5 mini albums. This is their first full one. And their first full album, My Name, ... And their title track. No, and I'll get into because I actually really liked their teaser or their pre-release music video they dropped, which was My Name Is. I'll get into that. But their title track on this one is a song called Beautiful Beautiful. which
Right.
which I was alluding to before because it's got a very sci-fi, cyberpunk, bright, fantasy-esque vibes to it. Because I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah,
like
you know what I said in my notes? Yeah, you know what I said in my notes? It's like if Akira and Ghost in the Shell were all rated G, then they're all like all bright and tears, it's all just rainbow, no
well,
deaths and like no killings and all
I'm
that.
gonna reference back to what we talking about earlier this week about how all sci-fi is like all dark and like dreary and dystopian. It's like, well, we have bright, sunny, sci-fi now. They're still
That's
running from the
children.
cops though, but I mean, there's still bad
Yeah, but
guys
no,
running from the cops, but
it's like a game to them.
because there's still a lot of shootouts and stuff. Which I've noticed because I think
Getting shot at. Getting shot at.
because I will say this, and I blame my friend Leah. Leah, I'm calling you out. I'm blaming you for this. She's making me into a Fuse, which is their fandom.
Oh, who's okay?
Because
makes sense. It makes sense with the name. It makes sense on and off.
Because I've been actually digging into their discography, and I really do like their stuff. Like they have a good sound. They have a really good sound. Like it's a little bit different out there than what I've seen from other stuff. And
Yeah.
they just it's really interesting, like their dichotomy of how their group works. So they're a 6-member group, and they're literally broken up into 2 units. They have the on units and the off units.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, now I
I knew
see. Because I was.
were you confused by the on track and the off track on the
Yes, I
album?
was like looking into the track list, and I'm thinking, okay, so what's like the significance of the on version and the off version?
Okay, yeah.
So I'm supposed to ask you that question.
Yeah, so they're broken into 2 units. There's the on group and the off group, and so they literally have 2 leaders in the group. Like there is no like one leader.
Cool.
There's 2 leaders. Haojin and JS, and they're actually literally best friends. Like they've been friends for 10 years. So yeah, and basically like the on group is like their presence like are more vocals. Like they're like the like vocal like main people, and then the off group is like more of like the performance, and like they do they're more rap heavy too, because the rappers are more in that, because that's like JS and Wyatt are in the rap group too. So, but yeah, that's a little bit background into into on and off. But yeah, I really did like Beautiful Beautiful, their title track. It's very 80s-esque sound to it.
Yes.
It's very 80s.
Yeah.
I really like it, especially after coming off of Some of It Swimming, which is their previous title track from their last album, which had a lot of sax into it too, and it had very retro vibes to it. It's nice seeing that retro vibe continue into this album and their title track. Yeah, and it just it's just really bright and colorful, and I really like that. And
I love how they brought that like that childlike element into the thing, because it's something that we need like more of these days. Like how we have like a lot of gritty imagery with like the apocalyptic future. I think that's something that we need more, like this really idealistic innocent view of the future. And I appreciate that they brought that motif into that.
Yeah, they really bring like a brightness, like I said, because like I think they bring up really bright, and the whole song itself is really optimistic, because if you read into the lyric translations, it's a really optimistic song talking about like standing out and being unique, and like just being yourself. Read into the lyric translations, it's a really wonderfully written song.
Oh yeah,
it's so fun. It's just a really fun song. It's really bright, colorful. The sci-fi references are crazy. Like I said, the Akira, Ghost in the Shell, some Tron references, I guess, a little bit too.
A bit of Tron references, but have to have more color than the blue or red.
Like it's maybe a little bit of Ready Player One, but maybe done a little bit better.
Yeah, more Easter eggs. They should have like more characters into like their video, into their music video, if they had the rights. No, I'm actually glad that you felt the same way, because like the songs, like listening throughout the whole album, it just made me like feel good inside. Like I was about to like find something that would like provide like some criticisms with, but even though like I would say like, oh, I don't know, like they might blend in with a lot of like existing groups that we have right now and some other songs, like may not be like all unique, but I just like didn't care, and then just it just felt like I just felt happy that it's because it's all bright and tears, and then I just felt more optimistic, with life. And you know what? You said about like the beautiful, beautiful.
Mhm.
And that's what I felt too. Like I felt like the tropical '80s pop. And then I was trying to figure out because like the riffs and how like they compose it with the songs, like yeah, it really sounds familiar with a lot of '80s songs. And I finally figured out, when they started like doing that, and
Mhm.
I guessed it, I got it. It's the freaking Tarzan Boy song from the '80s.
Oh,
Oh
that's why
my!
it
I can
sounded
see
so
your face.
familiar.
I can see your face. It's like, you're
That's why
right.
because I do like the rum pum 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 pum. I really like that riff that they do. I really do because it's just so catchy and it just feels like you see me bouncing in my chair as we're recording
Yes,
here.
yeah.
So
My
like,
gosh, yeah. It's oh my god, that's like the song that I got into. Is like this song. It sounds like Tarzan Boy. Like what?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Don't go
Exactly.
night. Oh my god! If someone could like match those two up, that would have been like a match made in heaven.
Yeah,
Man, but
it's
yeah, a lot of like '80s reference that I kept on thinking.
mhm.
Even some of like the songs like the Realist, like one of their tracks, the Realist, kind of reminds me of like Don Henley's Boys of Summer. It kind of has like a really bright summer vibes, and then
It
like
does.
even a bit of like some of Flashdance, like Maniac a bit too, with like the really like really fast tempo
Mhm.
at the back is just, oh my gosh, like a lot of like '80s reference, even though they're such a really young age. I got a lot of like these really great '80s like tunes that I get pretty nostalgic for,
Yeah,
even though
like
I'm a '90s kid.
yeah, like they the cool thing is like they've worked with the same producer. Like I think they worked with like the same producer throughout their whole entire discography. And even
Mm.
they're one of their main rappers, Wyatt, works a lot with a lot of the lyrics throughout a good majority of their discography. So like they do have some input into their stuff. I will also shout out their song My Name Is. It's such a unique song
It's
that
so quirky.
it's such a
Like
quirky it's a quirky song. It literally they wrote it themselves. That they basically introduce each of they all basically sing about themselves and like
hi,
their
my name is.
uniqueness. Well, then they basically talk about themselves and like what they are, so like to like new fans. And like I've never had a group actually like literally introduce themselves to people like that. Like that is such a genius idea. I don't know why more groups
It's
haven't done that. Like I never.
yeah.
It's so fun. Also, the music video they did a music video for it that came out a couple of
Mm.
days before their
Wait, which you
release.
showed me, which you showed me, and
It's so charming and cute. It's just adorable. Like
it's like a little like campy, but it's just like it just brings a smile to your face. That's what that's what I thought. That's why I thought like they were like a new group, or
mhm.
yeah, a new group that just came out because they had like this really introductory song. So I thought that was like their debut song. Like, oh, this is an introduction themselves. That's cute. Like, oh no, like they've been here like for 2017. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, their oldest
Oops.
members from 19 or their oldest members are from like 94, so like they've been around for a
Oh my
while.
god. Oh my god.
Some of them are going to be in Mix
I
9,
started
so
with I love the draw.
I don't even know. Like it's crazy, but like it works. It totally works. Like they play with this, like really bright sound really really well. Even like
Yeah.
I have like and I'm such I'm such a sap for like really like romantic songs. Like their last song on their album, I
Mhm.
Think I Love You, or
I
ITILU is how they style is.
ITLLU.
I Think I Love You is really really beautiful. Like it just ends off the album really well before they do an English version of Beautiful Beautiful. I haven't heard because
Yeah.
apparently on the actual CDs there's a CD version, a CD only song. I have not heard it. So called I Think Lights On. I think.
It's on. I only saw like the video back when they made back then, but it felt short. So I wonder if they extended the song in the album.
I wonder. So it's a CD only version. So I'm like, you're all tempting me really to buy the CD. Um, besides
Yeah.
for other reasons. But yeah, like I said, I might be becoming a Fuse. Like I said, I've kind of been digging into their backstory a little bit. They actually have a really cool like universe in terms of like their music videos too, because they play a lot with like dimension hopping, time traveling, like time looping and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Cyberpunkish
yeah,
narrative.
like between Simkovit Swimming and Beautiful Beautiful, there's a lot of like cyberpunk esque time hopping, like there's references to like the Little Prince, like a lot of stuff, like there's traveling around the world, like there's a lot of really cool references to their stuff. So they're a group I'm definitely going to be looking into a little bit more. But yeah, this is a really fun album. Like because when we talked about One Us and they had their first full album and we're like, okay, what's your sound? Like, because they were so all over the place. These guys have a sound, like, and it's so fun. And it's just so bubbly. Like, it puts you in a good mood and it puts you in a good place. And
I was so scared. I thought it was gonna be some like generic like sounding group that I had to listen to. But like, oh my gosh, it feels so like, oh, I feel like I want to jump around and just like dance because it's like, you know, it's like a really happy go lucky like those tracks. And one of my favorite, other than like the Realist or Beautiful, I like the Thermometer because they have that, they can really pull that 80s slow ballad pop and even like a bit of like the 90s R&B vocalizations with them. And because like when I heard that, all I could do was like just like sway back and forth and just like snap my fingers to like the song.
Yeah, it's a really fun, like, it's like kind of album. Like if you have a bad day, literally pop it in. It's gonna cheer you up in 20 minutes. Like it's perfect. It's so good. Also the amount of times I've watched the music video is probably unhealthy, but it's such a good music video.
Oh really? Oh, you know what I called them, or you know I call them. It might be an unfair comparison.
What?
I call them. I call it the lighthearted Stray Kids. Think about it.
Seriously?
Think about it.
Okay.
No, think about it.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
The music video, beautiful. Whenever they dance in on a city top, on a building, kind of reminds me of Nero, but it's more colorful. One of the rappers sound like Felix because one of them has like really deep voice. Like I don't know who else in like the rap not the rap, but in the K-pop game has like really deep voice other than Felix and maybe him now. And
you're talking about Wyatt. That's Wyatt who has the really, really deep voice. Wyatt. That's Wyatt.
Wyatt is like do a collab together. But even like some of the they're saying and like the rapping compositions almost feels like structured similar to Stray Kids too, though they rely more on vocals. That's their main difference. They rely more on vocals more than rapping. And yeah, like they're like more their themes. It feels like they feel more upbeat. They're like the polar opposites of like Stray Kids, where they're all more angry and like more like in your face, like more anti-establishment. Well, like them are like so happy, like the more like escapism, like it puts into like a lot of escapism mood.
No,
that's my comparison. Please don't ask me, guys. Please don't like.
No, I can see that. Also, there's a little bit of tie-in because with one of the music videos, there's keys tying in with the Stray Kids and on and off. So I see ties-in. Yeah. I see tie-ins into this. So also, don't at me with these alternate universe theories. Don't at me. But we should probably get into this because I don't know how much discussion we're going to get into this. And we're going to put a trigger warning on this because we're going to be talking about
another trigger warning.
Yeah, trigger warnings. Yeah, because we're going to be talking about some like bullying and some. Do I throw it out there? Should I throw out the possible sexual harassment? Trigger warning too.
For sexual harassment. We just hope it's not, hopefully
not true. Because during that news just came out today. So if you're
just popping out like daisies, man.
Yeah, so if you're uncomfortable with this kind of talk, we're going to be talking about this the rest of the episode. So you can end the episode now, and you can visit us on our social media platforms. I don't know if I'm going to put the titles of cards up here and then we'll go do it and then do it again. But you can visit our social media platforms. You can visit me. Do you want to do a quick plug here and then we'll do a plug at the end for people who want to bow out. So if you want to visit me, you can visit me, Jenni Matasek, on Facebook, Jenni with an I, Matasek. Also visit me on Twitter and on Instagram at Chaos Bulldog. And Jenni, where can they visit you?
You can follow me on Facebook at Jenni Leano. That's Ginny. Last name Leano. Instagram for my design pages, Jenni Designs, all lowercase, and as well as Facebook at Jenni Leano Designs. All of my personal pages and usernames will be all linked under those pages anyway, so you can easily find me there, hopefully.
And then you can also visit our show pages at Noonas_podcast. Again, don't forget that underscore on Twitter and on Instagram. If you have any show questions, comments, concerns, you can always email us to at noonaspodcast@gmail.com. We're always up for, whatever. I don't know if you want to talk K-pop or whatever. For us, nerdy shit too. AU theories too, please. I could seriously just with AU theories. But yeah, if you're uncomfortable with any kind of talk with bullying, sexual harassment, anything like that, you are more than welcome to bow out of the episode now. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to stay tuned. We're going to talk about this for a little bit, and then we're going to end the episode. So, your warning. And let's get into it. So, this has been fun to talk about as of late. This has been the hot issue. So this has been a hot topic basically since I think the end of last week, middle to end of last week, where it came out.
I felt like it kind of had like a bit of a spark because there's been just false rumors. This is popping out a bit, and false accusations. But this week has been such a huge explosion of a lot of people, being called out. But is it really deserved, or is it all true, or what are the reasons why this is coming out? We'll be able to explain more of that.
Yeah, because it all kind of stems from last week with accusations that happened with the South Korean national volleyball team. So what happened is that two members of the South Korean national women's volleyball team, that were twin sisters, Yi Jae-young and Yi Dae-young, were both dropped from the team amid a bullying scandal, which has now been proven to be true, actually. It sounded like that they were proven to be quite bullying in their younger years when they were in school. And I'm not 100% sure what they did for their bullying. And when I say bullying, in Korea, bullying is pretty bad, to the point of belittling a person. It's pretty bad to the point it has been a known problem for years in Korea, and it's been talked about and tried to it's been changed, but nothing's happened. And even teachers have said they can't, they literally don't do anything, or they can't do something for it.
Yeah, even the bullying and the forms of harassment that they've done, it can even stem out to outside of school, because the thing with the K-pop industry and how they've been cyber attacked by a lot of really nasty commenters on by the netizens. So that those some of those stuff can really affect a lot of those stars, even to the point that drove them to depression and self-harm. So we talked about one person last week, which is Sully, which is who was a really big victim of those those really online bullying. So yeah, not just from school, but the Korean how they behave on online is just it's just really something else.
Yeah, I mean it's vicious both ways, in person, online. It's just the culture and I wonder if it just stems from a place of power, that the power is people they perceive they get for belittling somebody, which I mean, growing up in the West, in the Western world, where I will say, I've been bullied because I will say this, I'm overweight. I will admit it. And I've been overweight most of my life. So I've been bullied for that. I've been bullied for being a girl. I've been bullied for being a band nerd, for being a nerd overall. So, I've been bullied and belittled. I'm sure you said, Jenni, I know you said you've talked about having some issues with that too, right?
Yeah, it's been quite a while, because the thing with a lot of Asian countries, their way of not just bullying, but at least attaining this really power status. It's this really huge popularity thing, with students, that it can make you feel like the people who are the outsiders make you feel inferior, you feel more left out. Whereas in compared to in Canada, or in North America, it's more inclusive, like, like they accept you, like they're more willing to accept you who you are. Doesn't mean that there's like not amounts of bullying. There still exists, but with them in Asia, there's a lot of like really like a lot of power status and just like popularity thing. I kind of felt that because a lot of like my classmates, a lot of them like like very intelligent like students, and so like a lot of people like surround with those groups. Well, I kind of feel like I'm pushed out. You pushed up for even pushed up for being how having more of a unique or like more of a different liking from them. So it just makes me feel like more of an alien to them. I couldn't really communicate well with other people. So that kind of like brought out some more like more bad behavior and just trying to like fight back at them at some points. And yeah, some some of those things can be really can like crumble down into like a really messy situation.
Yeah, and so like I said, it's all stemmed from, again, 2 members of the women's volleyball team, getting accused of bullying, and then these allegations proving to be true, and then they got removed because of, and these were all posted online, and then it got snowballed all the way up to the Blue House, which is basically the Korean equivalent of the White House on like a similar platform like change.gov, because they have that over in Korea. And because of that, it basically has emboldened people to see, well, because this has happened, I can possibly, I can possibly, I have an opportunity now to say something. Whether that's good or bad has really kind of been up in the air, because a lot of the allegations that have come out now against both actors and idols have been proven to be false, or have proven to be very, very trivial in a lot of people's minds and a lot of people's opinions. Yeah. I mean, we just going through the firing line of like all of the idols who were accused of becoming, of being bullied or being bullies, excuse me. I mean, it's a who's who of idols. Like, it was seriously spin the wheel, pick an idol group and pick an idol in the last few days of like, it picked, I mean, you had Sujin and Soyeon of Idol get picked. You had Younghyun of iKON, Kim So-hee, formerly of IOI, Mingyu of 17, Hunjin of Stray Kids, Sunwoo from The Boys, Chu from Luna, Kihoon from Monsta X, Isha from Everglow, Hana, and then Leah just recently from ITZY. Like I said, most of these allegations have, proven, a lot of the agencies have come forward and saying, they're false. And so a lot of things too, you should know in Korea. So like, if you start making false accusations against people and against like idols and stuff, and start slandering them, you start slandering them, the agencies can actually take legal action against you.
Yeah.
For, defamation and for slander. So, and they will take you to court. They always put out warnings to everybody on the regular to warn you that if you are caught doing that, we will take legal action against you. And I know they have many times taken legal action against people. But it's also, we also need to know, but also, so there's this fine balance of like, so were they bullying or were they not bullying? Because a lot of the allegations was a lot of it just thought was like, it seemed like a lot of it was like petty name calling, and, like children being children in middle school and elementary school, like,
yeah, or like you stole like some one school item from them, and that you might never got it back. But yeah, but not to the point. It's not a lot of those cases, not to the points that they were traumatized or they were severely like harassed or beaten up by like their bullies, but also like I think so you said like some of the cases that were read upon, some like fall in line to a lot of like K-drama tropes too, because like people are saying like, wait, that narrative, it sounds really similar to one K-drama show where like this girl got like beaten up and then like started bleeding and like bruised, like He's not from that show. And so yeah, like when people are like getting suspicious, but it's also like a bad thing. It can be a relief that are, like a lot of idols are, are coming out as innocent, but it's gonna be like bad in the future because it's the boy who cried wolf situation. If
Right.
there's gonna be like one is gonna be actual like harassing someone, that no one's gonna believe the victims anymore,
Right, which is why it's kind of just concerning where now we're kind of starting to see like some of the agencies just take legal action. So, for example, I'm going to bring up Ki-hoon because it came out to the day we're recording on Thursday here. With his agency with Starship, Monsta X literally coming forward and like they literally came out with receipts today from like his teachers and stuff from middle school and high school. I'm not kidding you. They literally came out with receipts and like what his teacher said and like about his personality and like what his friends said about, and they posted it all on the fan cafe for him, for the fans to look at, about his about what he did, about his school. I mean, take it for what it is. I mean, I don't know, because it's the teachers saying, and teachers can obviously say something and the students can say something else. So take that for what it is. But also to know for Ki-hoon's situation, the same perpetrator also said the same stuff back in 2015, was told to knock it off, and they met with the legal team at Starship at the time in 2015. They got in they said invoice, okay, we'll stop. And this because they said, because Starship said, okay, if you don't stop, we will take legal action. So the perpetrator said, okay, fine, I will stop. It's now 2021. They're saying the same thing again. So now Starship's like, we will now take legal action against you. So
hey, you asked for it, man.
So now that's going to be an interesting hot mess of a situation to see what's going to come forward, because that's going to be very messy legal action. In terms of Hyunjin's a very unique from Stray Kids. I honestly, my heart's breaking for him right now because he's I feel so bad because he's a very sensitive soul. Then it's known he is, because he's talked about actually very much having a very high anxiety level personally. He actually after Kingdom, because Kingdom aired Tuesday, they were literally performing. I can't remember if it was another Korean show, it was a Japanese show. They were performing, and he actually did not perform. So it was just Stray Kids, as 7 of them, performing on Wednesday. And he is currently emceeing for one of the music shows. He's currently emceeing for Music Core. And he's actually backing out of not emceeing this weekend for the show. And it's actually one of the last weekends he will be emceeing, because we're currently in the lieu of the MC changes for all the music shows. So all the idols are changing over for the new year of idols hosting. So and then I feel like it's more for his mental state, because from what I've heard, the allegations against him have actually now gone down from the portals that they've been posted to. So I don't know if the JYP legal team has actually talked to the poster, or they've responded to him, because they've now gone down, or or if they're building a case or what's going on with that. But I mean, in this case, like, I understand why Hyunjin would not want to be out there, because a very sensitive mental state. Because I can understand, wanting to be out there while dealing with all this, it would be really, really hard.
And in case if the fans will like believe in that, in like the accused, or the one who's accusing him. So people might like have like a different response to him if they see him on stage. So like you said, it's like a good idea for him to back down and just be away from like the limelight right now, and hopefully he's able to like regain his his state, because when it's proven to be false, it's still like taking a toll on him. Like it's just like it's really bad too, like how many of these people would like try to exploit and like just exacerbate his state worse from what it is.
Yeah. So
from out of like false accusations too. So it's like not a really.
Which again, so with all these kind of what we are feeling are false accusations, which again we don't know, because I mean we don't want to assume anything, because they could be true, they could just be exaggerated, because again, young age, emotional time. I mean, even one of the it was even came out that one of the people who accused one of the idols for the allegation from Luna. So she literally, the person who said she was, bullied by Chu said, "Oh, I looking back at it, I was being emotional. I was really emotional. I made this post and stuff, and it's like, I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought it was." And it's like, so at this point, it's like you're really making the situation worse because you're like, it is kind of the boy or the girl who cried wolf, because you're kind of lessening it for people who have really seriously been bullied to the point of like, it really hurting their psyche, or like to the point where it could be really detrimental to their health or to their, or to whatever. So that's why the most concerning one that just came out literally as we just today, as we just before we came on air to record, with Mingyu from 17. And we don't know if this is true or not. We're putting this out here with a huge asterisk.
Yeah. Okay. So first, he was first called out for standard bullying, which Pledis Entertainment, his company, said no, this is proven to be false. But now we have another case against him, and then this one is like more of a concerning situation. So take it away, Jenni.
Yeah. So it came out obviously a few days ago. He was accused of bullying and stuff. That came down. Pledis came out saying that's not true. The post came down. Okay, that was fine. Now it came out today. And again, I'm putting a huge asterisk out because we don't know if this is true yet or not. And Pledis has made a statement. And this literally just happened right before we went on air. It came out that Mingyu might possibly have sexually harassed a student while he was in school by saying, more sexual jokes. Verbal jokes, verbal sexual harassment jokes, while a student in school, like with his friends, or quote unquote friends in school. And so to the point that the poster who made the allegations, I'm assuming, I think it's a she, basically came out and she laid it all out on the post, to the point of like saying, like, I've been seeing a therapist about this and talking about it, and there's a lot of evidence against him. I don't know if this is true or not, and so I'm putting out there with a huge caveat, but this one's not looking so good. And I guess we don't have a comment from Pledis yet. And the moment we're recording, which is currently 7:15 Central Standard Time, Thursday,
6:15 in my time,
6:15 Jenni's time, Central Standard Time on February 25th. So by the time this goes to air, usually on Sunday, the Sunday after we record, things could have changed.
Don't listen to us if it all clears out, or
Yeah, don't come after us if this clears or things change or anything. I mean, things could have changed by next week. Honestly, things could change next by Sunday.
And this thing is going by pretty fast too. And we'll never know. Right now,
things are literally changing by the hour. Like, it's been like things have changed from this morning until like today. For us, like even trying to keep the story straight. So it's been a whirlwind, like, and it's kind of like it's just been like a who's who of like who's getting the next accusation, and like, are these accusations true? So we're gonna
to me, some of these stories, like, it's becoming like kind of almost like laughable now, because of how the many cases are proving to be false. And now it's just like, okay, like, oh, I'm surprised that they haven't gotten into this company yet. Like I was saying to Jenni, like, wow, I'm kind of surprised that they haven't gone into someone from SM yet. Or I was like, I would love if they try to go on like anyone from Big Hit, like with BTS, like to see how much they could, like, they try. They have the most to touch BTS. It's like, they're like waiting, like, come on.
No, I think BTS is untouchable. I mean, there's so many good stories out there for BTS. I think they're freaking untouchable.
They're doing like the MTV Unplugged. And I'm surprised that like they haven't like did anything like.
There literally is a story out there this week where somebody literally had Jungkook come into their convenience store, and he literally came back and because he got overcharged because he literally got extra 40 cents back in his chair. No, besides the blue hair, no, he literally got extra charge. He literally got extra 40 cents in change. And came back and gave him back the extra 40 cents. I am not shitting you. There's a story about that floating around the internet.
Okay.
I'm not shitting you.
Like typical Canadian. Oh, sorry. I made too much.
Jungkook is too pure of a child. But yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but going into like the cases, Mingyu. With Mingyu, like this is like the more really concerning like scenario because we're going into like more of like harassments now, not just like
this is not just petty bullying, like would you see like kids being? I want to see kids being kids because that's stupid to say, but
not kids can not sexually harass or like people at that age. Yeah.
So at this rate, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, this is a very fluid situation right now. We don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, things could change next week. We probably will have an update next week.
Yeah.
On the show.
I know. Like for us, it's really best to stay neutral. But again, it's just so hard. Like with like how we compare like things with the Me Too movement back then, and 2016, or 2017. Like those feels like the more like I guess more natural because people just like they've been like not coward down, but like been suppressed because of like the threats of like the higher power trying being able to shut them up, but now they have more power to speak up and now like put like those people accountable and even put them into like more charges that they deserve. Whereas this is like more of like we're heading into like muddy waters because a lot of people are exploiting this or like having the opportunity to like bring anyone that they don't like down and like proven them to be false. Like, and I really hope like with Mingyu, like hopefully none of this is all true. And but again, like it's really hard to to believe. So that that's why we're trying our best to stay neutral for the matter. Yeah, like because we've seen sparks of like those coming out like a month ago. The one with from aespa Giselle. Like people were like saying how much he's such a like such a bad kid back in Japan, like doing all those those really bad things. So turns out not all all those to be true. And like the most special case was with Chanyeol, which the poster trying to put like these photos of there's like allegations of Chanyeol who was like cheating on his girlfriend with like 10 other women, and even brought up pictures to make people like really like doubt like Chanyeol from EXO, until people are like analyzing, wait a minute, like some of these things, they came from like different like pictures. We remember this, and the case became like one of like the most, I guess for me, like the most one of the laughable scandals that I had. But I still felt bad for him when it turned out to be like false, as well as SM not doing anything to, I guess, help out. And a good thing that that he finally made an update, like saying like I feel sorry, sorry for those like people who waited for my response, and but thank you for like some of those trying to keep faith in me, and you're not wrong that like to believe in me. So good thing is like this thing came to a close. So that's why with Minkyu's case, I'm just like really, I'm saying doubting, but like just hoping it would like come out as like the same like similar circumstances as like the last person. That kind of situation, man.
As I'm currently looking here, and I mean, I'm looking at all K-pop, so not a credible source whatsoever. But now there's allegations that now he apparently is bullying disabled classmates as well. So I don't know what's true and what's not out there anymore. So at this rate, I'm just gonna wrap up this conversation because things are gonna probably change by next week, and we will hopefully have an update next week. on this. I don't really know. It's a lot of.
But at least like companies are like are quick on the action too, and they're like really getting into the the situation, trying to like hopefully bring things to a close and just like find really more better evidence in their sides to say no, it's not not all true.
It's going to be a very interesting weekend, I think, just to keep an eye on this and see what's going to happen and see what kind of fallout happens.
Yeah, even like people coming up with like this like what is the motive here? Like why all of a sudden like people targeting like certain artists and then like even conspiracy theories because of like what's happening in Korea with their political environment as of this moment, and
everybody always does that too every time because sometimes people can't get over the fact that their idols are bad people, and unfortunately
or they're dating someone or they're dating someone or just I wonder how different like their in their environment, like do they, if there's like a really bad thing happening in their politics, that they throw some stuff like from like other media just to do like divert the situation or like just distract them. Is this like some of the thing that we're doing in North America, or no, not that much?
Right. I mean, we don't know because we only get what we can see, what we look for. So, and we're not around that media, unfortunately. So, but TB continued, I guess, for us. So we'll keep you posted on this breaking story, I guess. But with that, I guess let's wrap it up. Should we plug again, or should we plugged already before? So
again, follow me, Jenni Liano, on Facebook at Jenni Liano Designs, or Instagram at just Jenni Designs. So at Jenni Designs. All right.
Me on Facebook at Jenni Matasak, Jenni with an I, at Instagram and Twitter at Chaos Bulldog. You can also follow the show pages on Instagram and on Twitter at Noonas_podcast. Don't forget the underscore. You always email us too for the show at noonaspodcast@gmail.com. This has been the Noonas podcast for the week. Sorry, we're leaving you guys on a bit of a downer yet again this week.
Or a bit of like an uncertain point. We don't know how is this gonna like close out.
I hope next week's better. It should be. Freaking ATs comes out next week. It should be better.
I really hope. Oh God, I really hope no one's going to target ATs next. Oh,
don't you dare! Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Oh,
don't you freaking dare!
Here, I have wood. I have wood on my table, so I'll knock on wood.
Yeah, don't you dare! Don't you dare! I'm still holding out for Mingy's sanity right now too. So.
No, I'm hoping none of my SM artists are getting called out too. So
yeah, I'm just in the prayer circle for ATs here too. So all right, that's fighting.
Take care.